Hello, everybody. This is the Eric T conversation. I'm Eric T. Welcome on the day before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has their plans all ready to go. I hope you're either at the destination or you're on your way to the destination. I hope you all arrive safely and happily and enjoy that turkey dinner tomorrow. And you get all that tryptophan in you. So like 5 o'clock, you're all passed out sleeping. Wake up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Make a couple turkey sandwiches. There's no turkey sandwich on Friday because nowadays everybody just passes out food. They just hand it all out. So Friday comes around, there ain't no turkey in my house. It's all gone. It's all gone. So like 12 o'clock on Friday, I'm like, hey man, let's make a turkey sandwich. And there's no turkey left. Everybody's got turkey. So get all the turkey you want tomorrow. Get all fat and yummy, and then enjoy the rest of the weekend with your family. So enjoy it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's get into it. Have you ever had somebody on the phone that you text and you just text them? You haven't heard from them or something in a while. You send them a text and you're like, wake a sleeping giant. You wake a sleeping giant. So you call, you text, send them a text, and all of a sudden they start texting you back. And then you text them, you ask them a couple questions that you need, and then they start texting you again. And the next thing you know, it starts becoming a barrage of text messages from this person. And this person has an iPhone. Okay, and they do talk to text. Now I'm an Android guy. I'm always going to be an Android guy. I know. You can't send me a video and me see it unpixelated. It's just the nature of the beast. You can't send me a text. I can't see that you read it. All right. I can't hit like on it and then you get the like. I have to actually do a happy face or actually like LOL return. I know. I'm always going to be wet because what happens is you get into the iPhone. Next thing you know, you got to do iTunes. Then you do iTunes, then you got to do iHome. Then you have to do the iTV. Then you have to do Apple TV. And then it just goes on and on and on, and it never stops. And then every year, you got to get a new iPhone because the other one's obsolete. So I'm an Android. I got a big old Note 2. I like it. So they do talk to text, and it's obviously a little bit better than the Android. So when I talk to text, I have to delete half the text and just retype it over again because it screwed up every word I said. It puts like penis, vagina. It puts all kinds of weird words that weren't supposed to be in there. I have to delete half the text anyway. I should have just typed it from the beginning, from the start, and I would save a lot of time. So I can't talk to text as well as your iPhone people. So this particular person, and you know who you are, you start talking to text, and you just bombard, and then I start getting paragraphs, and I'm like, at this point, I just had a couple of questions to ask. And then you're wondering, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, well, because I'm still reading the text message you just dictated into your phone. I got 4 paragraphs. I'm doing this. I'm scrolling through the phone to read your text message. And then as I'm doing this, I get, hey, where'd you go? I'm like, hold on a minute. I'm still reading your text message. So at this point, it's like a conversation. Just pick up the phone. Like you got to go old school, like reach out and touch someone. Reach out. Just say hi. Pick up the phone and call somebody. So I start going back and forth, texting, and then I gotta wind this down. Okay, I gotta wind this down because I'm trying to watch Yellowstone, and I'm halfway through the show, and I have no idea what happened because I've been text messaging somebody back and forth, and now I gotta like rewind the whole show over again just to see what the freak I was doing. So I'm trying to wind this down. So I start doing some, you got to bring it down. You don't want to. Nobody likes to say, oh, well, I'll talk to you later. You got to spin it down a little bit. Spin it down. So you start doing some LOLs. LOL. Laugh my ass off. So OMG. You just start tossing those out there. So you're not really responding with text message. You just start some acronyms in there. Okay. And they're still going. They're not getting the hint. So you got to, okay. All right. We're not getting that. All right. Let's do some emojis. So I hit a couple of happy faces, crying. I do like 2 in a row, do a double happy face. That means it's really funny. And then it's not working. Then you do like the one like this, like there's just a smile face, and that's like it's not hilarious. It's funny, and that's not working. And then you gotta start doing some thumbs up, and they're still okay. They're starting to bring it down a little bit. It looks like they're typing again. They're no longer dictating into the phone. So then finally you're like, okay. All right, give it okay. You can't do 2. Do 2, that spins it right back up. You give 2, it spins it right back up. You give one of these thumbs up, and then you're good. So Here's how you deal with somebody that's giving you a barrage of text messages, and you gotta spin it down a little bit because you know when I start to watch Yellowstone, I'm watching Yellowstone. Okay, you start watching Beth, and you start watching um, damn, what the fuck's his name? You've got Rip. So when you start watching this, you gotta like really pay attention. Okay? It's one of those shows. So you start spinning down, and then you start. They're getting it. They're getting it. Like, okay, all right, have a good night. Good night. Talk to you later. Talk to you later. And then you close it out. But what could have been a 30-second phone call turned into 35 minutes of text messages because the person has an iPhone and they don't like to type and they just freely start rambling into it. So don't do that. iPhone people understand that we can't hit the like, we can't do what you do, and we get it. We get it. You're just showing off. So type, or reach out and touch someone. All right. Anyway, so now we're going to get to the conversation part of this podcast. Greatest thing going on right now is Trump won the election. You know I'm excited about that. I'm a Trump guy. Not really a Trump guy. At the beginning, when he was running in 2016, I wasn't a huge fan. I wasn't a huge fan. I was kind of old school. I like Marco Rubio, and I'll show you this picture of me and Marco Rubio at a Dolphins game. Check it out. So these Marco Rubio, and I hate that picture. I got to be honest, because we were chit-chatting for about 10 minutes. His wife used to be a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. Obviously, I'm a huge Dolphins fan. You know, up there and all that. So we were chatting for a while, and it was his first run at becoming a senator. He was a state legislator and all that, and in Congress and all that. So he was running to be a senator. So we were talking, and someone said, "Hey, get a picture," and we got a picture. And someone called his name, and he turned at the last minute, and I didn't know he wasn't looking. But I swear to God, we were like chatting. It was a nice guy. I enjoyed it. So I was kind of Rubio guy at the very beginning of the 2016 campaign. So now, but then Trump, the way his demeanor was a little different than usual. So I'm kind of old school with being a Republican conservative and all that stuff. I'm not a huge conservative. There's some things I'm a little in the middle about. But I like that what he was talking about. And when he won the election, he did a lot of things that he said he was going to do. Now, whether you like him or hate him or think he's a racist, and we already talked about that. We already know. Look it up. Just do some research, man. Amber Rose did research, and she came to our side. So if you do the research, you'll find out he's really not that bad. So right now, what's going on is that obviously the Russia whole thing's going on. And a lot of people get nervous. You're talking about nuclear war a lot, and it's not really something to joke about. When you say nuclear war, you'll drop a warhead. It's not something to joke about. It's comparable to say, hey, listen, I got a gun. You have a gun. Yeah, we know you keep saying you have a gun, and so the old saying is that, you never pull it out unless you're going to use it, and don't really talk about it unless you're going to pull it out and use it. So I think he's just kind of projecting my own opinion. I don't think he's going to do it. I mean, he's watched movies, hasn't he? Have you seen the movies? Seen Terminator? Drop a nuclear bomb, it all goes to crap. So I don't think anybody wants that. Nobody wants that. So I really think he's just kind of blowing hard to kind of scare everybody. But a lot of people are nervous about it. What I believe that Trump and Putin have a decent relationship. These guys that are in power, they like men. They like manly men. These countries have a hard time with female leaders of countries. They do. I know Italy's got one. I think Germany has one. Mexico has a female president now. But the majority of the countries around the world are all ran by men. And some of these countries are very old, 5,000, 10,000-year-old countries. You're not changing the way they do things. We're going to be 250 years old. We're a very young country. And we progress quickly. So when people talk bad about the United States, you have to understand we're very new. We're 250 years old. That's it. We're one of the youngest countries out there, I think, if not the youngest. So these other countries, Russia, China, Japan, all these, they have years and generations and hundreds and thousands of years of being there. So I think Putin respects Trump because he's a man. And I'll get into that in another podcast about why that is. But he respects him. I don't think they really are afraid of each other. I think Putin's probably a little afraid of Trump just because Trump is a, kind of a madman with some things, and he just says things, and he's scary, and he doesn't give a shit, and he'll just drop a bomb on you. But I really believe they have a nice accord with each other. So this is what I believe. I believe Trump and Putin have an agreement. I believe the agreement happened a little while ago, and I believe Putin said, "Hey, listen, we agree to what you want to do," and they probably talk to each other. We're going to agree to what you want to do. I have no problem with that. Whatever it is that decided, but I'm going to give you the win. I'm going to give you the win when you get into the White House, because I don't want that dipshit getting the win. So I think Trump is going to get the win. Putin's going to agree to it. It's going to happen within 2 weeks of Trump getting into the office, getting sworn in. Within 2 weeks, this is what I'm predicting. Within 2 weeks, the war is over. Everything's going to be nice and quiet all over the world. The reason why is because Putin wants peace. He does. Nobody wants to go to war. And if you've ever been to war, war's not fun. So politicians like war because it generates a lot of money for them and the war machine. So they like money. They like the money laundering that war brings because they're not on boots on the ground. But if you've ever been there, you don't want to be there. So I don't think they want, and Putin's he's a soldier. He's an ex-KGB guy. So he understands war and blood and shed and all that. So they're going to make an agreement. Trump's going to get the win. Putin's going to look good with everybody because he's got to work on relationships with everyone. Now, is he going to be part of NATO? I don't know. Probably not because he likes his own stuff. But I believe that's what's going to happen. Within 2 weeks, they're going to have an agreement that they already have in place, and he's going to get the win from Putin, and they're going to be great. And they're going to work on the relations with the United States. So that's what I believe. So don't worry about the nuclear war. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't believe it. A bomb's going to drop. I don't think they're going to do anything now between Trump's inauguration to keep him from getting sworn in the office because it's in our Constitution. He has to be put in office. We have a Constitution. There's two ways about it. The newly elected president gets sworn in at this particular date. It's in our Constitution. So he's going in. So whoever's telling you that he's not going to get sworn in, he's going to get out, he's not going to get in office, they don't know what they're talking about. You got to read the Constitution. It is our Bible. And we have 6 out of the 3 Supreme Court justices. So that's not getting overturned anytime soon. So that's my take on that. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast tonight. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to take tomorrow off, so I won't be doing a podcast. I'm doing a little drink. Got the UCF final football game on Friday. May or may not do it early. I don't know. We'll see. So hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you subscribe. Click on the like button. Pass it to a friend. Share it on all the other platforms. I'd really appreciate it. And join me next time for a nice chat, some observations, and some good conversation.